Yo, what up? My name's Antonio Kanja. This is Should We Do a Podcast? That is a loud candle.
I like it.
Not that you can pick it up on here, but it's like I hear it. Anyways, welcome back to the podcast where we find out if we should do a podcast. I'm your host, Antonio, and today we have my friend Luke.
What up?
I'm still working on the intro, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, me too. Episode 2 will be great.
This is probably episode 2.
Okay. Sweet.
All right. So yeah.
That was episode 1.
This is what that been. I think I probably shouldn't say because I don't know the order that I'm gonna post these in, but
Yeah, you're about to get 5 in real quick and then
just sit on them.
yeah, just set up. There you go. Like all your YouTube videos.
No, the YouTube videos haven't done shit in a while. I still have people ask me about my Middle East videos.
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, yeah. Just play them. We'll cut to it right now. So this is the podcast where I'm interviewing people to see if we should do a podcast. I'm not really telling you. We've talked about this, but I'm telling the people who are listening who maybe not listening.
May also be watching.
Oh yeah, maybe. If you're watching this,
Hit the like button right now.
comment, subscribe. Comment if you think we're doing a good job so far.
My blog, the link is in the bio right down there.
It'll be Luke's Twitter page. He doesn't use it.
Or my Instagram or my Snapchat. Find me on LinkedIn.
Link me on LinkedIn, please. Look, in all seriousness, if you're watching this, make sure you link Luke on LinkedIn, please. We're dying. So what was I gonna say? God, I'm so bad at this. Anyways, to start out, I'm gonna ask the same question that I always ask. The past one time.
This is definitely the first time.
This is the first time, every single time. If you're watching, this is the first episode. If you're listening, this is probably the second episode. They're going to be posted in reverse order. So, Luke, what's your experience with podcasts? How do you feel about them?
Personal opinion?
Personal opinion.
You should not do a podcast. There's enough podcasts out there. They got more funding. They got ads. Jump cuts. You don't need to do a podcast.
That's okay.
Honest opinion.
Wow, how unprofessional.
Wow, unprofessional. Don't Apple Watch.
Yeah, that was a subtle flex. You just rejected a call on your Apple Watch.
Yeah, if I would have had the iPad over here, I would have rejected it on there too.
Can you?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Calls go to your iPad?
Mm-hmm.
What sense does that make? What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't bite that. Don't bite that.
This episode's featuring Milo the cat.
Yeah, quiet.
Today's his 6-month birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say 6 year.
Nah, he's a little baby. He's annoying as hell too, as you can tell.
Yeah, he keeps biting the cords. Anyway, so that's your only opinion on podcasts, just to dig at me.
That's the main opinion.
Main opinion.
Podcasts are good though.
What do you
Listen to about probably 10 of them.
Oh wow.
Between sports and tech stuff.
Okay, well I can't talk anything about sports, but we can go into tech.
Okay.
Like like the shirt you're wearing, that's The Verge. They have a podcast, right?
Yeah, I'm sponsored actually.
This
This is your ad for this episode.
Listen to The Verge podcast.
Sorry, let me just.
Listen to The Verge podcast. They gave me $6. They gave me a sixth of a Bitcoin for Luke to wear the shirt.
That's quite a bit of money.
How much is Bitcoin at now? Fuck, he bit me. I don't like it.
You wanted him.
I didn't. You know what?
Yeah, I didn't want him either.
Oh, God. All right. If you're listening, Luke is taking Milo to his room. If you're watching, I mean, same thing.
All done.
Okay, so The Verge is a what? It's a tech. That's
The Verge is a tech news website. They have a podcast, which last I checked is like number 2 in the technology category on Apple Podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Vergecast. Very good listen. Gets very deep on like the top maybe 5 topics of the week, but it keeps you up to date.
So is it at the top of the week or end of the week?
They record it Thursday and they release it on Fridays, so it's like the tail end of the week.
Yeah,
because no good news drops on Fridays.
I don't know that. Is news every day?
Well,
traditional news.
Yes, big media.
Big. This is
big media. You don't release good news on a Friday because you don't get the follow-up press the next day. So if Apple's going to announce something bad, you announce it Friday afternoon because everyone goes home at 5 p.m. If you want to release something good, you say it on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, because then you can have the initial story and then reaction to it the next day or the next day, and they stay in the spotlight.
Announce something bad, like what?
Like you miss your... Like they sold less iPhones than they expected, or...
Oh, so they would drop that on a Friday.
You're never going to see it on a Monday or Tuesday.
Real shit? That's interesting.
I know, it blew my mind too.
I never thought of that.
And it makes so much sense. If you
it
look,
really does.
No good news happens on a Friday, unless it's on accident.
Isn't all news good news? No, that's that's promotion. All promo's good promo.
Yes.
Damn. Okay. Well, that's I mean, I'm legit mind blown. I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like
pay attention.
Pay attention. Big media is really feeding it.
Big media is very predictable.
Fridays you get your shit news. Monday you'll find about hurricanes.
Facts.
What about the weather? Is weather considered news?
No, because it's fucking wrong every other time. Can we swear?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. Hey, when you grow up as a kid, be a fucking weather guy.
Oh, for sure.
Just be wrong 97% of the time. 3% of the time you're right. You get hired.
Yeah,
you're good.
Especially if you're in Michigan, Chicago. I don't know about Indiana. I don't know what Indiana's like. But like,
I feel there's like 20 people maybe.
Yeah, I never heard anything about Indiana. But like Illinois and Michigan, you especially can be wrong. You'd be like, it's gonna be hot today.
It's gonna be windy in Chicago. There's the Windy City.
I thought that was DC. Who's Wendy?
Who is Wendy? I wonder if there's a lot of Burger Kings in Chicago.
Wendy's was started in Chicago.
Really?
No. Maybe.
That would have been your good fact for the episode.
Fuck. I didn't have no facts. This is like the Michael Rappaport podcast. We don't fact check. Have you ever listened to his podcast?
Whose?
Michael Rappaport?
No.
I think he has something to do with
He used to work at Barstool for like a minute and then he got fired because he pissed everyone off.
I thought he
did tech. I think.
I thought he does something with sports.
In sports.
But like all of his,
I think it's like basketball.
I think so.
The white dude covering basketball.
But every like when he drops an episode of his podcast, you know how like they'll do like a different thumbnail, like different podcasts will do like different thumbnails. Mm-hmm. His is always a hip hop album with his face.
That's
photoshopped
sweet.
It's sweet, but I'm like, so I follow him on Instagram for that, but not because I listen to his podcast. So I don't know what his podcast is about. All I know is that he yells a lot,
which is why he worked at Barstool, because they yell a lot and it's all about content.
I've never listened to. I don't think. No, I lie. Wait, is Call Her Daddy on Barstool?
It is.
Okay, so then I've listened to one Barstool podcast.
It's one of those podcasts that started on their own, like this one, and they got picked up by Barstool.
Pick us up. Pick me up, Barstool. Pick us up. We're talking tech.
We're sitting on my couch in our living room now. In a year, New York City.
This would be a different black leather couch.
Riley Reed's walking out of the bathroom.
She's gonna tell us what she knows about tech and podcasts. What she knows about basketball.
Oh, she knows the players all right.
Oh, she knows about balls. For sure.
Wow. I would say that's deep, but...
Oh, she gets deep, too.
So what's your experience with podcasts?
I listen to about 6 at any given time, I don't know. listen to maybe like 3 or 4, but I purposely backlog that. Like, I purposely will get really deep into one and ignore the other 4, so they're like backlogged, so I can binge 4, or like binge the other ones.
If you guys ever see this kid, he'll be walking around our work, giggling, laughing, the happiest grin on his face, just because he's listening to some like comedy podcast.
All the time. That's all I listen to. I really feel like I need to switch it up and listen to like a political podcast to be sad and like be serious. But I don't think I could. Like I always try. Like I always tell myself like I need to listen to like NPR or something, and then I'm like, no.
When you're like 65,
NPR.
when you get your AARP card in the mail,
that's when you
start listening.
That's
to
when
it,
you subscribe to NPR.
It actually automatically subscribes you. It shows up on your inbox and on your podcast app.
Like, all right, I guess we're doing this now.
Yep.
Right
it's
when
part of the membership.
Right when you retire, you're like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go to the park, feed the pigeons, and listen to NPR.
Hear about the liberals ruining our fucking America.
Make America think again. Oh no,
that's a good slogan.
No, do you know who Andrew Yang is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of a tech guy, too.
Is he?
Yeah.
His slogan is math. Make America think harder.
Really?
Yeah. That's my fun fact for you.
He's very, like, outgoing. He's doing it non-traditionally. Like, he's been on the Vergecast a couple times.
Wasn't he on Joe Rogan?
I think so.
Yeah, he was on H3H3. I asked you about them the other day. Anyways, he was on a bunch of podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him besides that he's been on podcasts.
Podcasts, YouTube videos.
He's running for president?
Yeah. With like 100 other people.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll work out.
That's about as political as I can get.
Same. That's about it.
Okay, so what other podcasts do you listen to besides The Verge? The Vergecast.
MKBHD, which Antonio still can't say.
Never. Marquez.
Marquez Brownlee has a podcast now called Waveform.
Yeah. I still haven't listened to it.
Kind of, if you ever watch one of his videos, it's kind of like the follow-up to like a review or whatever's going on in the news. Mm-hmm. I think they do it every other week. They did an episode, and then the next week was the iPhone event, so they did another episode out of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Then they did another episode the next week out of schedule.
So he did an episode about the iPhones?
Yeah, because he got flown out to Cupertino.
And the new iPhones are garbage, right? I've been told it's a waste to get them. Don't even think about getting them. You should just wait till the 12, right?
You could say that every year.
Well, I was told specifically this year because the 10 was a huge jump, and then one of my friends he's really into this stuff. He was like, "Yeah, no, fuck the 11. Just skip it. Wait till the 12."
Well, I think that whoever the friend is that said it, he's probably got like pressured in because he sees it all the time.
Yeah.
And he just realized that like
he probably listens to the Verge.
Probably, and he's really trying to take some low light pictures. And he's trying to have a better camera than his buddy who just spent $3,000 of his dad's money on a camera.
It's definitely not better than my camera.
It definitely is.
It's 100% not. How many megapixels is it?
Doesn't matter. Megapixels aren't everything. Any camera guy will tell you that.
Megapixels aren't everything. Then what do you fucking weigh a picture on? How it looks.
Yeah.
And how do you get the look? The megapixels.
Not necessarily. What's the focus pixels?
I don't know. I'll look it up right now.
Mine's 100%.
100%.
100% focus pixels.
I'm going to look mine up right now then. We don't fact check? Fuck that. We're about to fact check right now.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How long does your battery last on your phone? The 10S Max.
On my phone or my camera?
Your phone.
Phone. Now it'll last all day. Like
just one day?
Shut the fuck.
I went to work yesterday. Worked 11 hours. Was on my phone all day. Had podcasts streaming all day. Was on my phone after work.
Focus.
Didn't charge it. Woke up today. A 9-hour shift. Podcast. Played Call of Duty on my phone, and it was at 37% at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Jesus.
After a day and a half.
Sony A.
And after a half hour of charging, it's at 97%.
That's some bullshit. That actually is really good.
Yeah. The battery life and the camera is the two main reasons to get the new phone. and they're both
Isn't-
very much worth it.
Isn't that what they say every single year though?
Yes.
That's literally the only thing that changes. And the glass back, like between the 7 and
Now it's a frosted back. It's a
Is it?
frosted glass back.
battery with card, air free, lenses, focus pixel, sample images, ISO. I don't know. I gotta look into it, but
Someone didn't come prepared.
no, we do not prepare. Here, my producer definitely was like, "Hey, just do it."
I like it. I would say get the 11 and get the 12. The 12 is going to be good.
Okay.
Really good.
Okay. What's gonna be different with the 12?
It's going to have reverse wireless charging because it got taken out of the 11s super late.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have the iPhone 4 design with the
The 4, the one with the metal band.
with the thick edge around it.
Yeah.
It's like considered like the best looking iPhone ever, like the iPhone SE way.
Oh.
Where it's like a black, but it's like
Yeah.
it's sexy looking. And it's gonna be 5G, which won't be worth it right away.
Okay. So
But if you keep the phone for 2 or 3 years, like you should, for a grand, it'll be worth it.
how long did you have your 10 for?
11 months. My 10 or my 10s Max.
Your 10 was like what? 2 weeks? A month?
Actually, that was 12 months.
Oh God.
Got my 10s Max in November. 10 months actually, because I got the new 11 Pro Max.
No,
Dumb
the
name.
10, just the regular 10.
I had it for almost a year.
Did you?
Yeah. So I got the 10, and I got the 10s Max, and then the 11. So I've gotten the last 3 iPhones.
No, I know that, but I thought you had the 10 for like a little bit, and then you were like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna switch to the Max."
In November. The year it came out.
Oh yeah, because you switch right when they drop.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. What's it like to have such a huge dick for Steve Jobs?
You know, it's a rough life, but someone's got to live it. Apple doesn't make enough money, and I'm just trying to. It's like a Kickstarter. I'm just trying to fund Tim Cook's private island and plane and security team.
You with your
Fun
Apple
fact:
Watch.
today is the 8-year anniversary since Steve Jobs died.
Really?
Yeah.
Today?
Mm-hmm.
We just timestamped this
We did just timestamp.
when this was recorded, which I'm not mad at. But holy shit, 8 years. I don't remember the day he died. Do you?
I do.
I don't think I was
As geeky as that is, I remember. It was big news.
Run me down what happened that day. Your day. 8 years ago. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You're in fucking high school.
Yeah, freshman year of high school.
Wow.
My dog also died that year. It was a rough year. 2011 just sucked.
Damn, you lost your dog and
And my
Steve
role
Jobs.
model.
Wasn't your
Almost
dog-
my dad.
Wasn't your dog deaf and blind?
He was.
Oh, R.I.P.
You know, he lived his best life. He was 13, and he had chocolate ice cream every day.
Wow. Why? You guys just fed him chocolate ice cream?
He liked dibs.
Aren't
mean,
you
who
not
doesn't
supposed to
like-
give dogs chocolate?
They say that. He lived to 13, and he had chocolate since my mom got him at 6 months old.
Jesus. So vets are lying. So big vets,
Yeah.
big vets are feeding us lies.
And little chocolate is just out here trying to be an alternative to dog food and just keep getting shot down.
When will the public know the truth? I guess what if they listen to this? Which probably
Get the
won't
news
happen.
out there.
We
Hashtag chocolate is good for dogs.
remember,
But that's 4, the numerical 4.
tweeted us. Hashtag
Don't tweet at me. I'm not gonna
chocolate
respond.
is good for the number 4 dogs. All
With
of
a
it.
Z. Dogs with a Z.
Dog days. Oh man. No, so I really don't remember what happened that day for real.
For real. It was like,
Freshman year of high school.
yeah, it was breaking news. One of the American, I wouldn't say he's better than Henry Ford. He doesn't have a college named after him. However, he was a big fucking deal.
Would you say? Okay, hot take. Would you say Steve Jobs is more influential to not? Okay, I was gonna say world culture, but I think Henry Ford would be influential to world culture too.
No,
Who's
not necessarily. I would argue
he invented. I was gonna say mass production. What is that called? Don't say it. The assembly line.
Yeah.
Henry Ford was
he
also
didn't make
racist.
the
Nobody
first
ever.
car.
Everybody forgets that.
Facts.
He was friends with Hitler. No, if you're listening to this, don't.
That's a fact. That's
don't
not
forget.
even like exaggeration.
Yeah, that is not like a bit. Henry Ford was friends with Hitler. Don't forget. Anyways, would you say that Steve Jobs is more influential than Henry Ford?
I would.
Hot take, really?
Hot take.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't have much justification for it.
I was gonna say you want to go into it.
I mean,
Is the iPhone more influential than a car? Yeah,
yeah.
I'd say.
You don't see shot on Ford Focus on turned on Twitter, do you?
Not yet.
Not yet, no.
Not yet.
And
Until
Henry
they,
Ford's been dead for like 60 years now.
until they make that backup camera 4K, I don't want to fuck with it. What's it? It's probably still shooting in 480p.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Potato quality.
It's really bad. Then again, so is a MacBook selfie camera, so.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the MacBook Pro in general. I was like, don't talk about
No. Nah, Steve Jobs is much better than Henry Ford, just overall as a person.
that. I've heard.
I mean, he did fuck Steve Wozniak out of the entire company,
I was going to say, from what
and he did no work.
I read a lot of stuff that
He could just
that-
sell the product better.
that Steve Jobs was an asshole.
Yeah.
I'm sure
If it wasn't for Woz, he'd be selling nothing.
He got kicked out. He was kicked out of Apple twice, I think.
Steve?
Yeah.
Steve Wozniak or Steve Jobs? Sorry.
Jobs.
Yeah. They kicked him out. They replaced him with the CEO of Pepsi.
Yeah, you know that guy invented the 2-liter? I listen to so many podcasts. That
That guy's more influential than Henry Ford.
and he's more influential than Steve Jobs. He invented the 2-liter. We wouldn't be drinking 2 liters if it weren't for that guy. I don't remember what his name is, but I swear I listened to like a whole.
Yeah, I should know.
I listened to a whole interview, and I had no idea who this guy was, and I'm going through my normal podcast, and this guy comes up. I was like, oh, whatever, I'll listen to it. And he's like talking about how he ran Apple. I was like, what the fuck? Who is this guy?
What podcast was he on?
The Tim Ferriss show.
You have to send me that one.
That's
No,
really
I
good.
never heard it.
I'll send it to you. It's actually really sweet. Tim Ferriss just interviewed Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
The space guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a really good podcast. I'll send that one to you. But so I'm listening to it, and this guy's like, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah." Steve, like he was just talking about Steve for a while. And I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about? Like Steve this, Steve this?" He's like, "Oh, yeah."
Steve.
Yeah, he literally he just kept saying Steve, and I was like, "Who talks about this?" Like a
The
person,
Steve
like,
guy, yeah.
Who is Steve? And he's like, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah. My time at Apple." Like, and I was like, literally pause this episode. I'm like, "Who the fuck?"
Gears are grinding in your head. You're like,
I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And so yeah, that guy, the CEO of Pepsi, who invented 2 liters, and he that guy, oh my god, that was just a cool time. Anyways, I forgot what we were saying. The guy. Who
yeah.
invented
So
2
Steve
liters?
Jobs got kicked out of Apple.
Yeah.
Got replaced by that guy, whatever his name is. Not important, obviously. 2-liter guy.
2-liter man.
So 2-liter guy ran Apple. They started to sink, and then Steve Jobs made a new company called Next, which was another computer company, and ended up getting bought by Apple because they wanted Steve Jobs back.
Mm-hmm.
So they bought his company for a couple $100 million back in like the 80s.
And he
Ended up getting back on the board, getting back as CEO,
wow.
and saved the company.
You know what? Fun fact for you. Here's my fun fact of the episode.
I have a fun fact too.
Not the 2-liter thing. I just saw that Steve Jobs used to lease the same silver car from a dealership in California for 6 months because you
Really?
could drive without license plates in California for 6 months.
That's boss level shit.
Like you have the paper one up
Yeah.
front, but it had no plates on the front or back, and you could do it for 6 months until you get a ticket for it.
Yeah,
until you get a ticket for it. So he would go to the dealership, lease it, drive it around for 6 months, go back, and literally just like would talk to the same guy and be like, okay, here's the car. I want to lease it again for another 6 months. and I'm like reading it, and the guy, and like the explanation at the end, they're like, nobody knew why he did this, but he just fucking did it. And they're like, he did it for like 20 years. Like,
damn.
Driving with no plates just because he could. Crazy. What's your fun fact?
So, fun fact, the iPad technically got made before the first iPhone.
How? Like,
So
the idea came up, he's like,
no, they
bigger thing.
pretty much made the iPad first, and then they made the iPhone. Because they knew they couldn't sell the iPad before you introduced the mass market to a phone. It's going to be more mass market than a iPad would have been. So when they were making like the touchscreen thing, they'd have a projector come down on this table, and there would be this layer of whatever fabric, and you could touch on the table where the projector was, like a big old touchscreen. Yeah. And they made it into like what the original iPad pretty much looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve realized that you can't, trying to explain this to somebody coming from an old ass MacBook,
Yeah.
you're never going to do it. So if you put it into a phone.
Did the MacBook come out? Did they have a MacBook? Because I know they had like the iMac. Did the iMac?
The MacBook didn't come out till around the iPhone. They had like.
Before or after?
It was around the same time. The first iPhone came out in 2007.
Yeah.
So I think the Mac. Because they had the PowerBook before the MacBook.
What's the PowerBook?
That was
their
their line of computers
the
before.
First MacBook? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the PowerBook G4. I don't know what any of these are. People talk about them like they're
Yeah.
cool shit.
Like
So that was before the MacBook though.
Huh.
Which the PowerBook is how we got the laptop design we have today, with the screen on top, the keyboard, and the trackpad in the middle on the bottom.
Really?
Everyone else had those scrolly ball things, those crazy ass looking mice things with like the big red ball on the side.
Oh, yeah.
Or they'd have like the trackpad on the side instead of the middle, which is kind of weird because if you think about it,
They still, I mean, like,
I
saw like a Razer computer that like they
yeah,
switched
but it's
to
for
that.
gaming, so it's kind of different.
Yeah,
But if you think about it, like having the trackpad in the middle doesn't make sense because you don't have a hand coming out of your stomach.
yeah, but like it just like
It just
from
works.
from a design standpoint, it's more like
ergonomical.
I was gonna say symmetrical. Like if it's in the
Yeah.
middle, it just looks nicer, I guess. Oh yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Apple's the shit.
Apple is the shit.
The most valuable company in the world.
Throwback to when
I hated Apple so much. Hated them until
think
about
about-
2016.
I think about that every time that you tell me something about Apple. Every single time.
Yeah. We used to be the biggest Android guy. Hated Apple. It was just white girls on iMessage. And that's exactly why I got my iPhone.
Literally.
You cannot date a girl
I remember
in the 21st century without a blue bubble.
I remember the Switch. It literally was like a week.
Yep.
Like
It was a weekend, too.
it was like a Monday. Like a Monday before you were like
It was June 23rd, 2016. I
Christ.
honestly know the date.
Jesus Christ. I remember the week before you're like, yeah, fucking iPhones suck. Like they're stupid. Everybody has one.
I was a huge Galaxy guy.
I love my Galaxy. Yeah, because I had a Galaxy too, and I liked it for a while until dust got into the screen.
Yeah, you will.
But you're like, fuck iPhones, they're so stupid. I don't even need I don't even like one. And then literally like that was like a Monday. Then by like Friday you're like, dude, but like iMessage and FaceTime are like really streamlined and like they are. I mean, I switched and
That's true.
I'd never gone back.
I will never go back.
Never. I'm too deep. I have a MacBook.
You think you're deep.
I'm not as deep
Two
as
Apple TVs. I have an Apple Pencil.
An Apple
My
Pencil.
second Apple Pencil because we lost the first one. You got an iPad, which I'm going to get a new one of.
You have an Apple Pencil case at this point.
I might as well. I have more Apple charging cords under our TV than they have at the Apple store. And I'm probably serious. Like,
No wonder why you haven't been to a doctor in years. Fuck, I fucked that up. Because you have so many apples?
oh. That was a really bad delivery for a decent joke.
It was so bad.
So, ladies and gentlemen, he will never make a comedy podcast.
Yeah, never. It's just going to be me laughing at myself.
Before he can get the joke out.
Slipped up before I said it. God damn it.
That would have been a good joke, too.
Damn. All right, well, I think it's time for a break.
All right.
We're going to take a break real quick, and then we'll
Sure.
be back with more Luke and me and whatever this is.
Sounds good.
Hey there, it's Antonio. This commercial is brought to you by me. If you like the podcast and you want to see other stuff, you should check out my website. I got pictures from a bunch of my trips, all of my vlogs, my short films, and some other stuff. Like these, and these. So if you want to get any of them, they're on the website too. Appreciate it, because right now, it's just me wearing them. So that's all I got. Back to the pod.
And we're back.
Oh, damn it. All right, yes, we are back. If you're watching on video, it was super fucking dark in here, so I turned on a light. If you're listening on audio, doesn't matter.
And if you're listening on audio, go back to the video and look at how long it took him to say, and we're back.
Yes, I'm going to leave it all in. Actually, I'm just going to leave the whole pause in there.
Okay.
It was like a solid 45 seconds. I don't know. You weren't looking at your Apple Watch.
Yeah. Humble flex.
Humble flex for sure. Throwback to when I got an Apple Watch. I feel like right now is the perfect time to tell the story, even though I've told the story so many times.
I'm down. Let's hear it. It's actually going down in price, too.
Yeah.
Starts at $199.
Stop telling me. That's how you got
It's
me to
even
buy it.
cheaper at Best Buy. It was $199 at Best Buy
it
before.
wasn't. That's how much it was.
It's $199 from Apple now. It was $279 from Apple.
So how much is it? Is it one? It's still $199 at Best Buy?
I haven't looked at Best Buy, but
Still the series? Is it Series 2?
3. It was always Series 3.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. They stopped making Series 2 after a year, and I hit a Series 2.
Oh, and
They also stopped making the Series 4 after a year, and I had the Series 4. But
same with the iPhone 10, right? You had the one that they discontinued.
they also discontinued the
10s
10S line.
10s Max.
Yeah.
Really?
You can still get them from Best Buy or like carriers, but you can't get them from Apple anymore.
Why?
Because,
Just because they want you to buy the 11?
Yeah. And what are they going to do? Drop it $100? So instead of $1,100, it's going to be $1,000, and the new one's going to be $1,100.
Yeah.
Too many
Yeah,
variables.
makes sense. But yeah, that's how you got me to buy the last one. You told me it was $200 for what, like a week?
I wasn't. It was like 3 days. You went on one bike trip, which it would be so good for biking.
It literally would. So
You can stream music. You can download it offline. You can track on a map where you go.
the 3, the Series 3.
Yeah.
I thought you
can
need cellular for all cellular.
You
for all
can
that.
you can download it to the watch's hard drive, or that's a technical way of saying it. It'll automatically download from your phone
its
to your
memory.
Yes.
Yes.
To your watch, and then you can just connect your AirPods, which if you don't have by now,
Really?
just fucking get lost.
100%. That's the one thing I will die on. If you don't have AirPods,
What the fuck are you doing?
Not that you need them to be better than other people, but
You need them to be better than other people.
Wireless earbuds. How many times have you gotten the cord ripped out of your ear because it got stuck on a handle? Too many for me to count.
The one thing I did miss was a little thing that
Yeah.
you could adjust the volume and pause and skip and stuff.
That is, if they had
That's
like
the one thing I
if
missed.
they had a thing where like you could like slide up or down, that would be kind of cool. But
They'll come out
that's-
within 2 years and it'll
Yeah.
be $50 more.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
like Series 8.
Series 1 Apple stuff always sucks. Pro tip.
Yeah.
Everything always sucks.
But you know what? I wouldn't. To me, there's not that much of a difference between the AirPod 1 to the 3 that they just announced. Because what it's
They didn't
noise
announce the 3s yet.
rumors.
That's a rumor, yeah.
Rumored, which is reverse charging,
Nope.
noise canceling. No,
Mhm.
no.
So the
I know noise
phone
canceling
would do the reverse charging.
Oh yeah,
The
wireless charge though.
Yeah.
No, that's on the second though, is it?
That's on the second, yeah.
Okay.
But the 3s, which are going to be a different design, they're going to still sell the 2s and have the 3s. They just have the little things that go in your ear if you like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not noise canceling like
I
Bose
thought that's what it was.
QC35s.
Dude,
They're
fuck
going to be noise isolation.
Fuck those.
Let's hear the story.
Fuck the Bose QC35s. I dropped $400 on those when I took a trip to New York for my 20th birthday with Merrick, my cousin.
Wow.
And
That's a long time ago.
yeah, we went. I saved up my money for so long for this trip. We get there literally second day, and I kept seeing people with them. And I was telling Merrick, I was like,
They were the shit when they were released.
They were.
Every tech video.
I saw so many people.
Everyone had them.
Athletes
were.
I saw people here with them, and people were like, "Oh my god, they sound amazing! Like the noise cancel, you can't hear."
Was that
anything.
a humble dig at Downriver?
Yeah,
People here.
Yeah,
These
people
low life
downriver.
fucks in Downriver.
Hell yeah, people downriver representing. I would go to a Tim Hortons, not a Starbucks, a Tim Hortons,
Go to the Walmart tech section.
and people were walking around with their QC35s. But so like we're in New York, I saw a bunch of people wearing them, and I told Merrick it was like the second day. I was like, if I see one more person wearing them on the way out of the hotel, I was like, I'm gonna get them. And like as I said that, we got off the train and somebody walked by. I was like, all right, we're gonna stop at the next Bose store.
And people say ads don't work.
No, 100% ads work. 100%.
Because that's just how
just
ads work.
putting it in your
Yeah.
face.
And then eventually, subconsciously,
Yeah, you're gonna be like, oh, or you just have a friend who just tells you what the price is for a week or 3 days.
yeah. I single-handedly sold half the people at our store.
Apple Watches.
An Apple Watch.
100%. You did.
I literally did.
Apple cut this man a check for
Just
real.
give me a job, honest, please.
If you're listening to this, Steve Cook or the Waz,
Steve Cook?
Tim,
Wow.
Steve Cook.
I just got him.
That's Tim
I'm
Cook's
embarrassed,
dad.
but also mad at the same time.
That's Tim Cook's dad. Steve Cook.
Okay.
Steve Jobs was also Tim Cook's dad.
They're actually best friends.
Are they? Well, they were.
Man,
R.I.P.
really. It just happened.
Uh,
8 years ago today.
8 years ago today it happened. Anyways, so we walk into the Bose store. And,
There's a Bose store in New York?
Yeah, it was weird.
Ah, it's fucking rich fucks.
Honestly, don't even remember where we at. But we walked into a Bose store. I just told Merrick, I was like, we're going to go to a Bose store. We walked off like the train, and there was a Bose store. I was like, wow, that was convenient.
Wow.
And we go in.
That's a God incidence.
It was it was definitely not a coincidence. It was a God incidence. If you go to Catholic school, you know what that is. Or went
Or
to
just
Catholic
our
school.
fucked up school.
So I told the lady, I was like, I want those headphones. And she's like, oh, do you want to like look? I was like, I want those headphones. And she's like, okay.
Sir, stop pointing at me.
Yeah, sir.
Sir, put your finger down.
Sir, you're causing a scene at a Bose. Please, everybody.
Oh,
has,
wait, no one can hear it. They all
yeah,
have headphones on.
Everybody has headphones on. Nobody knows what you're saying. They just see you pointing.
Angrily across the room.
So she's like, okay. She like rung me up, and I remember peeling off like 20s for it. And this lady was so confused because I looked like I was like 15, and I'm just literally just like sitting there peeling off 20s. And she's like, she looked concerned, and I was like, here you go. And she's like I think she was confused that I was paying cash and not like a card. Also, that this 12-year-old looking boy had so much money in his pocket.
Side story, if you ever want to like see someone be so confused, pay cash for something at the Apple store. They don't know what to do. They physically have to take your money, walk into the back room,
And then come back.
then come back with your change.
That's so weird.
And they'll look at you like you just inconvenienced their whole fucking day. Like, really? You don't have Apple Pay?
No, I
Which
have.
honestly you should.
No, I have it, Todd, but I want to pay cash. I want change. I'm going to Chick-fil-A. Shut up. So the reason why I hate them, because I bought them for that trip. Amazing. Love them. The wireless was perfect. I throw my phone in my backpack.
The Bluetooth.
The Bluetooth. That's what I meant. Yeah, the wire.
Maybe you should listen to some tech podcasts.
The Vergecast, you said. So the Bluetooth Connect, perfect. Everything was great, and I used them when I came back. I stopped using them during school because I would just use my earbuds or whatever. Or I wouldn't even use them. I would just play off my speaker. maybe. So what? That was like 2 years ago. So I've had them. I put them on for like the first time in months, maybe like 3 months ago. And one of the buttons, literally, like they have been in my room.
They
and
come
I know
in a pouch or a bag or something?
in the protective like it's a hard plastic case, and I know nobody's touched them because there's literally been dust on the case. Took them out.
Maybe that's the problem. They're
One of the
dusty.
One of the buttons doesn't work.
Like a MacBook keyboard.
Like the volume button didn't work, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And so I was like, "Okay, whatever. I can live without the volume up button." So I put them on, and it just stopped connecting to my phone. And then I was like, "Okay, maybe I'll just turn them off and turn them on." So I turned them off, and it's like connected. I'm like, I just turned this off. How is it connecting? So it stays connected whether it's on or off. The volume up didn't work. I was like, okay, you know what?
So its battery life last about an hour?
Literally, like 2 hours, whatever. And I was like, okay, whatever. I can't do this. So I went to Bose's website, and I literally called them up. I was like, hey, I have the QC35. I was like, what can I do? They're like, we stopped making that model. I was like, okay. I was like, can I get them repaired?
But I bought them from you.
Yeah. I was like, can I get them repaired? They're like, no. We make the QC35 2 now. I was like, okay.
You peasant.
I was like, can I trade them in? They're like, yeah, we'll give you $50 towards the QC35. I was like,
how much were they?
I paid $400 for those headphones.
I thought they were like $250.
They might have been, actually.
I think they were $279.
I feel like
that's
it was
a
like
sticking point in my head.
Okay, so we'll say $279.
Just a rough estimate.
But for the purpose of this story, we're gonna say they were $600.
They were the price of the iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Yes, they were,
which is $1,179.46. If you're wondering.
46 cents. Good to know.
You get $35.50 cash back from the Apple Card.
Oh man,
another flex.
And that cash back. So just in this 1 second, you flexed your Apple Watch, Apple Pay, iPhone, and Apple Card.
Honest to God, I've made spot on $55 cash back in 2 months of having the card.
Jeez. And that goes right back to your Apple purchases that you're gonna.
Yeah. If you put a zero behind it, it'll cover the iPad and a new pencil and a new case.
Jeez.
And we're getting a new TV for Black Friday, so I'm going to need a new Apple TV 4K box.
Where are you going to put another TV?
I'm going to get rid of the bedroom one. I'm going to mount it. Jeez. It's only a 40-inch. It's fucking small. It honestly is. We have a 65-inch.
Wow.
Which looks small on this wall. I should have got the 75-inch.
Listen to the flex. 40-inch small. Nothing. Might as well throw that in the garbage.
Honestly, yeah.
Might as well mount it above the toilet.
I'm going to donate it to, was that Mother Waddle's car, whatever? I'm just going to drop my TV
I think they only
off.
take cars.
I'm sure someone will want a 40-inch little-ass TV.
100%. I'm sure somebody would take a 20-inch TV for free. I'd take a fatback TV if someone gave it to me.
Do you know how heavy those are?
I'd take it.
No, you don't want that.
If it had a VCR to play VHSs.
Yes.
I'd take it.
I never realized how tough of a sentence that was. Like, honest to God, that's like...
VCR to play VHS.
Yeah, that's...
Damn.
They just fucked up the abbreviations there. Like, they missed
What does VHS stand for?
I never thought of that before.
Video. If you're listening, type out in the comments what VHS stands for. Or VCR.
For all the people watching the live stream, we'll just watch the comments roll in.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna take 30 seconds. We're gonna watch the comments come in. Did you see that lag? That was weird.
That is weird.
All right.
Well, no one fucking got it. So good job, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, you fucking idiots, for listening. My favorite podcasts are the ones where they're mean to the audience.
I don't know a single podcast like that.
They're like
some like BDSM podcast.
No,
they just yell at each other.
Not like that. They're like comedy podcasts where they're like, "You fucking idiot for listening to this stupid shit," which is essentially what I just did.
That's weird.
It's funny.
Like, as your friend, that's weird.
It's kind of funny
that you enjoy just getting yelled at by.
Not like that. Not like yelled at by someone. I don't know.
Just
we're gonna move on.
Belittled
By podcast.
Did you have a rough upbringing? Was it Father Joe?
No. I had to go to confession every week. Not by my choosing. I got Bibles to the back of my head.
If that's the only thing happening to your back, then you're good.
No.
Coming from an altar server?
Oh my God, you were an altar server.
Yep. Yes, I was.
There's the exhale.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's funny. I think that leads us right into our segment.
I'm looking forward to this all day.
Flawless segue.
Okay.
So we're gonna do a little segment that we do on every episode. It's called Would You Rather.
Okay.
Well, it's not really called Would You Rather, but that was the first thing that came into my head.
Now?
Yeah. I've had all day to think about this, and that was the first thing that came into my head just now.
Thanks for the outline, by the way.
You're welcome. How have I been doing? If you look on the wall, oh, I guess you can't see if you're watching, but on the wall we have SNL style cue cards that have an outline of the bullet points that we're supposed to be hitting. Yep.
And we're about 2 minutes behind on the cue cards.
Oh
so.
shit. Yeah. So we did the church jokes. BDSM podcast. Okay, cool. Anyways, segment.
Right.
So, I guess Would You Rather is not the best way to describe it. You know, like the like. I guess Would You Rather? No. God, I'm really slipping right now.
Glad you're prepared for this podcast.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you two options, and you have to tell me which one you'll take.
So it's literally Would You Rather.
I guess.
It's the definition of the game. Would you rather?
But not like. But they're
Just
not.
tell
like,
me which one you would prefer.
Yes, I guess.
Okay.
Would you rather to me is situational. Like, would you rather this situation or this situation? This is more of like a nouns. Which one do you prefer? I guess would you prefer? Which would you prefer?
Well, I'm straight, so I prefer male.
Roll the title card. Go.
My noun is male.
No, that's your pronoun.
Oh. Fuck those people. That's so annoying.
That's a different podcast.
We can go a whole episode on that.
Anyway.
That's part 2. That's when I come back for like season 2.
Whoa. You're getting ahead of yourself. And
we both know he's not getting picked up for season 2.
If this gets picked up for season 2, Jesus Christ.
They're just throwing money away.
They literally are. If you pick me up for season 2, sponsor me. Anyways. So I came up with a mental list, but it's also on the cue cards of would you prefer. I'm surprised you didn't see it on the cue cards. Anyways,
That's
so we talked a lot about we rode Steve Jobs' dick for a while.
No, I have.
R.I.P. again.
You know, he might have had cancer, but he was a hung man. Even after his death, he's just swinging away.
Well,
and I am into it.
I. His third eye.
Wow.
Jesus Christ, I was not prepared. Oh, wow.
I didn't see that one on the cue cards.
It's getting hot. I'm going off script. So anyways, my would you rather situations.
Would you prefer?
Would you prefer? So I guess we're going to start slow. We're going to work our way up. Because the first one I know is a no-brainer. But I guess if you had to look at them objectively, would you prefer the Galaxy Note 10
Yes. And I know exactly where you're going with that. Yes.
over the iPhone 11
Yes.
X Pro? Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's only the software that is good.
the
The
software.
design
and
is so much better. The hardware
of which one? Because I really
of the Note. Or are you talking the Note or the Galaxy? Because it's the same.
the Note. I
Either
thought it was a
one.
Galaxy Note.
Yeah, but then there's a Galaxy S10. There's a
Okay,
Galaxy
so
Note
I was gonna
10.
say Android or Apple, but then I went off cue card.
If Apple made the Note 10 or the S10 with iOS, I would give them $2,000 or $3,000 for that phone.
How did you feel about the Fold?
Galaxy Fold.
Yeah, future.
Well, it's
Quick exhale right there.
Yeah, it's a wow. Speech class is just coming right up.
So I thought I really thought you were gonna say Apple because you're so deep in the. I hate the word. I hate when people refer to it as the ecosystem, but that's really what it is.
It is the most ecosystem of every ecosystem.
100%. Like your watch and your phone and your iPad. The only thing you don't have is a MacBook.
And I hate laptops, and I realized that after an hour with yours.
It's fucking the best.
It's not.
I mean, I love mine.
With an iPad, you can just touch what you want. You have to do the stupid little trackpad and double tap and hold to... No. Anyways, it, as MKBHD calls it, it's a walled garden. It's the best way to describe it.
So look, that's the first person I heard talk about the ecosystem.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's a really nice, like, a weird way to put it. Now, when he said, like, it hooks you, I was like, oh, man, that makes it sound bad. And I'm in it.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, so I thought you were going to say Apple.
No.
Over
the
Galaxy.
The hardware that a lot of, like, the Android OMs can make is just much better than what Apple can do because they have more liberty with being out there. Like, Apple knows the iPhone is their business.
Yeah.
If you fuck it up, you're not done, but you're taking a big hit.
Yeah.
And what Samsung's done with, like, the hole for the camera and the screen, like, the whole thing, it goes around the sides and everything. It's amazing hardware.
Yeah.
But Android sucks because you're making one system to work on 1,000 different phones.
Yeah.
In 1,000 different countries.
I guess that's a good way to put it because I never thought about it. Well, like, why is Android so behind? I guess it's not behind, but, like, why it's not up there. But I guess, like, that makes sense because they have, like, the Galaxy, they have the Note, they have all their different, like, even the budget phones, like, they have all, and Android has to run on all of it. Like,
From the Note 10 at $1,000 to a $200, or even, like, they make $60 phones in India.
Yeah.
That run Android Go, which is like a skinned down version of regular Android, but same thing. And it's got to run on everything in between.
And
the Fold. It runs on the Fold too.
Oh god. That's so cool.
Windows had an event. They had a folding tablet and a folding phone.
I saw that.
They come out next year.
The tablet cuz it's not marketed as a phone. It's a tablet, right?
That can make phone calls. They just don't want to call it a phone because they say it's too limiting. Because when someone says a smartphone, you know what they're saying. Mm-hmm. You're not picturing a folding 7-inch display and it's a phone. Okay. They just won't call it a phone.
So I saw it and I thought it was just a
there's a big one and there's a small one.
Okay, so it's
like an iPad and an iPhone that fold, essentially.
Nice.
So one's clearly not a phone, and the other one's still too big to fit in most pockets, but that's going to be the phone.
Damn.
But yeah, Android's cool because you have to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if you're Samsung, LG's making all their stuff's running the same thing yours is.
Yeah.
It just looks different. Or if it's got like a pop-up selfie camera, which is amazing. Cause
I think that's really cool.
How often do you use your selfie camera?
Yeah.
Me, never, because I hate pictures of myself.
Right. But
unless you're doing a FaceTime call.
But like for Snapchat and FaceTime.
Right. And I couldn't tell you the last time I made a FaceTime call.
Really?
I live with my girlfriend. Who else is calling me?
Yeah, that's true. You never answer my FaceTimes.
That's true. I'm usually at work.
That's true. True.
But then you have the whole display to work with on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And that's...
I don't think the notch is that big of a deal, though.
I don't think it is either. But if you look at a phone like the OnePlus 7...
that's
OnePlus
all,
7 Pro.
Isn't that all screen?
Yeah. And just whenever you go to the camera app and you put on selfie, you open Snapchat, or you go to whatever, like Google up. Duo, which is the FaceTime, it'll pop up. But that's something else that could break or get dust or sand or whatever in it.
Like that was
moving part.
That was the biggest thing that I hated about my Android was because like I loved my Galaxy. I think I had the one before they started exploding. The 8 was the one that exploded.
We both had the S6, the Galaxy S6. Yeah.
So was the 7 the one that exploded, or was the 8?
Note 7?
Yeah.
It was the Note 7.
But that was the year right after, right?
Yeah,
So,
correct.
but like I love my Galaxy. The only thing was like the inside of the camera got dust on it, and I like took it to. Actually, there wasn't even very many phone repair places.
That's the thing too. Where do you take your Android phone to get repaired?
Yeah, it's all
some
iPhone places.
Guy in a little off-brand store, and you can take your iOS stuff to Best Buy. You can go to the Apple store. You can mail it in.
You could also take it to those places that are
You
popular.
could, but I mean, if you have like a Pixel or a Note, you just
you're kind of fucked.
as soon as you buy it, you're never gonna get a software update, for the most part, ever.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought they'd come out with...
especially Samsung. But Samsung's the worst at software updates. Essentially, what your phone is on day one is what it is.
Damn.
On iOS, you get a new phone,
A big one,
and then a
update
new
every
software update every year. Yeah, and they might add,
stuff.
more features that you're like, okay, I don't need a new phone this year. But for the Galaxy, if you want the new Android 10 features with whatever, you have to get a new device essentially.
Really? Even if you have like if you have like a 2-year-old phone?
Unless you have a Pixel, which is made by Google, yeah. Essentially,
They don't...
none of them really, or if they do, it's like 9 months later. Dead ass. Because what Apple does, which no one gives them credit for, is every time you make a major, actually any release, but especially the major ones, you have to go to Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T, EE, Vodafone, the guys in UK. Everyone you go to that's going to get the update, you have to give it to the carriers first and make sure
It works.
it's not going to crash all their shit.
Yeah.
And you have to do that, and that takes like a month. Where if you're Samsung, you have to do the same thing. And they don't really have an incentive to go do it because they're not making the software.
Yeah.
It's a big pain in the ass. And
So who does the Android software?
Google. Google owns Android.
That's a stupid question. Yeah, I feel like I should have known that.
Yeah. But
So then wouldn't it be in Google? No, so then I guess you're right, because it would only be in Google's interest to do it for the Pixel.
right. And they keep making announcements where they say that, oh yeah, we're gonna, work on Android Pie is gonna be released quicker, or it's gonna be, and then it never happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's why at every Apple event they'll always show
This is
85% of iOS devices are all on the newest software.
Mm-hmm.
90% is on the new software. 97% customer satisfaction, because Google will never get close, and they show the competitor, which is always Android.
Yeah.
There's only two.
Yeah.
Is like 5% or 10% at the most.
That's actually I never.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, maybe I should listen to some more tech podcasts.
Yeah, or just read
Or just
reading
read a
stuff
book.
I haven't read a book since. Does the Bible count?
The Bible does count.
Well, it still doesn't matter because I haven't read that either.
That you can be like, oh, yesterday.
Actually, I've been listening to the audiobook of the Bible.
Jeez.
Jesus.
Jesus, how long is it gonna take you?
Actually, I'm on my third version.
The third version?
Yeah, I went from the first one with when they made the printing press.
And it's all Old English?
Yeah. I'm up to King David's Bible or whatever it is.
No, I thought it was King Henry's?
No, King Henry's a strip club.
That's true. That's off of Dick's. How ironic.
Yeah. No
King,
kidding.
I don't know. I know what
Yeah,
you're
it's on
talking
the tip of my tongue. It's in every hotel room.
King
David.
Not King David. Anyways, we don't fact check.
Yeah, we don't.
We'll just say King David.
That's for season 2.
Yeah. If you want to know which Bible is...
Come back for season 2.
And you don't want to Google it, wait till this gets picked up for a season 2.
We're looking for sponsors.
If you want to pick this up, just comment below.
Fun fact, The Verge is hiring a podcast guy.
Oh, shit. Maybe
to remotely manage all their podcasts in their network.
Oh, no. I want to do a podcast. I don't want to manage
I'm
people.
sure you can mention it to him. Be like, hey.
Sure, I'll manage
I want to do a podcast.
Can I do a podcast about managing other people's I'll just do an interview with each person who...
Hashtag content. Let's go. That's a great idea.
Content is king. All right, you know what? Verge, if you're watching this, email me.
Nilay Patel.
Neil,
the editor-in-chief of The Verge.
of The Verge. Good to know. Good to know.
Really cute daughter. Her name is Max. Because he was really pissed because the year she was born, the 10s Max came out, and he was so mad
So
because they stole the name of his kid for the phones.
Oh,
It's a stupid way to name a phone, anyways, if you think about it. But
that's also Max.
they're Indian.
Is it Max an Indian name?
I don't know, but are you gonna really offend all the Indian people watching right now
I'm so sorry, India.
or listening?
If
I
you're
keep forgetting it's-
if you're doing either audio or visual, I'm so sorry. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess I had I guess all of my would you prefers.
Yeah, we got one.
We got one.
Anything else?
Trying to think. I had literally like a list of like 10
Okay,
of them.
I'm just gonna go off. So, the reason why no Android tablet's ever been successful is because no one will ever make an app for an Android tablet.
Why?
Samsung's the only people that currently make an Android tablet, and I know because I used to have one and it sucked. Because
You
can't-
did? Didn't you
yeah.
have it in high school instead of a laptop?
No, I bought it after high school with my graduation money, and it was a waste of $800.
Bro, I remember that.
And it was sweet, but the app sucked.
shit. I didn't even know they were.
But
I guess it makes sense that they would make one, but
Google they have a really hard time trying to convince developers to make a separate app for Android tablets because it's such a small market.
that they're like,
But
what's
then-
the point?
It's like a circle because it's a small market because there's no apps, but then
There's no
there's
apps, because
there's a
nobody's.
small market. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Google's tried throwing money at the problem, but no one,
nobody's biting.
yeah.
Google,
And
throw
a
money
lot-
at me.
And a lot of the reason Android's successful is because there's a lower price to entry into Android than there is iOS, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people that can afford a cheaper Android phone aren't going to buy another $500, $600, $700 tablet to go along with your phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's probably never going to work.
Huh.
And at the Microsoft event this week, they announced their new Surface stuff
Laptop?
is going to work on Android,
Windows?
like the folding one, the Duo
Yeah.
and the Neo. Because they tried making the Windows phone a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Big fail.
Huge.
Cool design with the live cards and stuff. If you
Yeah.
remember that, the squares.
My old laptop was a Windows, and I mean I guess they all are.
PCs, yeah.
Yeah, PC. And I like the layout was kind of cool, but like honestly, to me that was more confusing than Mac is now.
Right. And so they kind of just gave up on making a third operating system. 'Cause same thing. There's no one there, so no one's making apps for it. But there's no one's going to go there because there is no apps when you get there. So
and it's a
that's why it's kind of just
revolving door.
the world's just stuck on two operating systems for a while, unless something big happens outside of phones or something like that, where
Where the
the more companies can get in. Yeah.
Huh.
But the at least the two folding, the Neo and the Duo, are going to run on Android as tablets.
They're not.
So they announced them a year early. They're not coming out to holiday 2020.
Mhm.
So they kind of did it
They
to
jumped
try to get developers to make the apps now.
Oh, so when it does drop, there's some stuff.
Well, that's
something
what
for it.
Google tried doing for years. So really, the underlying thing about the whole event was they're probably going to fail because there's no software.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
To have an event and just be like, "Woof, let's try this again."
Welcome to Microsoft.
Shouts out to Bill Gates. Does Bill Gates still run Microsoft?
He does not.
That's what I thought. He's running the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yeah, the Gates Foundation.
Gates Foundation.
There's actually a new documentary on Netflix. It's called Inside Bill's Head. The interview edition of the Vergecast this week was with the director of the documentary, who was with Bill and Melinda for like 2 years. And I guess it's really like sweet. Like you just,
Send me that one. And
it's him and Bill just like running in the woods in Seattle, just talking about like, what's your favorite color? Like, what's your favorite like
Yeah.
animal? Like where, like Bill Gates made a more efficient toilet for poor countries because people were just going to the bathroom in the streets,
Yeah.
causing kids to get sick because they're playing in the water and drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
So their foundation, which essentially has a blank check, just because they had that much money, just goes and solves. Like they solved polio.
Wow. Is polio still a thing?
There's about 10 to 20 cases. Like 20 is a bad year for polio a year in the world.
Wow.
That's how like scarce it is. So it's like 1 in a billion people get polio.
Wow.
And Bill Gates' best friend is, who's that? Warren Buffett.
Really?
The investor guy, yeah. Who's actually very down to earth. Have you ever seen anything about him?
I've seen a couple. He's
like a quarter pounder from McDonald's.
He's like from Nebraska.
Yeah.
He's like some.
He wasn't even that rich. He just made a couple of good investments and then kept going. And lives a super simple life.
Yeah.
No big mansion.
From what I've.
Yeah,
I don't know
saw
very
him
much
last week.
Yeah, I don't know very much about him. Send me that podcast. That sounds sweet. I'll send you the one about the Pepsi guy.
I'm pretty sure the Netflix thing is already out because that's why they timed up the release.
That would make sense to promote it.
That's a good watch for everyone out there.
Suggestion. Hell yeah.
I think there's 3 episodes, each are about an hour long.
Nice. I'm trying to think. Should we do?
Just don't buy an Android tablet. That's the takeaway here. Ever. Just don't buy it. Don't buy an Android device. Unless you want to be single. Because the second you message a girl off of Tinder,
that's real.
Yeah. Which is why Apple will never release iMessage for Android. Which is contradictory.
Well, you can do that. But you have to run some.
Which they shut down every time it gets big enough that they notice it.
I thought it got big recently.
No. Apple will preach privacy, which is why end-to-end encryption on iMessage is such a big thing.
Apple has all your shit.
No, they don't.
Yes.
They might have it, but they don't do anything with it.
Oh,
Google,
you don't
Google
think
will
they're
target
looking?
ads.
You don't think they're looking at all your messages?
Good. You can look at all the porn I watch. I don't care. Go right ahead. But they're not going to sell it and make money off of you.
No, they're just.
That's why they charge you so much for the phone. That's why they charge you so much
for everything.
That's why you pay $160 for fucking AirPods, which are the $20 little things that come in your box for free. They just cut the wires off.
They didn't cut anything.
You pay for it up front because unlike Android, which is why Android's cheaper, is because Android, the information they collect, they're selling and making money off of you after the purchase.
So you don't own your shit. That's what I'm hearing.
Unless it's end-to-end encrypted.
Like on WhatsApp. WhatsApp by Facebook.
Facts. Which Facebook is trying to merge Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and Instagram Direct all together so you can WhatsApp someone and they can respond on Facebook Messenger or Instagram Direct.
Jeez.
And make it all end-to-end encrypted.
Jesus.
But then the government pushback because the government wants to be able to see it.
Yeah.
Which is why if you're a terrorist or you want to do something bad, use iMessage.
That's what they did for the London bombing.
Yeah. And you know why they could do it? Because it's end-to-end encrypted.
I think that's...
Not saying I'm endorsing it. I'm just saying, fuck the government. They can't see your stuff if it's end-to-end encrypted. Unless you have an iCloud backup. If you have an iCloud backup and your messages sync to the cloud, then they can see it. One thing people never tell you.
Never trust iCloud. I never ever... I don't like iCloud.
I love iCloud.
I just don't trust it. I don't know.
Mine backs up every time. My phone's fully charged and connected to Wi-Fi automatically. But Apple is hypocritical because they preach privacy and they will never release iMessage for Android, even though they definitely could. Because that is one of, if not the main selling point.
That's a huge selling point. iMessage, FaceTime, and the little apple that's on the back of your phone.
In descending order. iMessage, FaceTime,
little
then the
apple.
logo.
Little Apple, 100%.
Humble brag, they removed the iPhone name on the back of the phone, and it looks so fresh.
I did think that is sweet. I think that's sweet. I always have mine covered up, but I think it's sweet.
But yeah, that's why people say, well, if you're really serious about privacy, release it for Android, and they never will.
Yeah.
The second they will, people start buying.
People who have Androids are going to start getting girlfriends, and we can't have that.
Yeah, we really can't have that, yeah. or boyfriends, because
Oh yeah. or
little known
boyfriend.
fact, Tim Cook is gay, and no one like acknowledges. Like,
Really?
Exactly.
I didn't know that.
Not like
Not that it matters.
No.
But like.
but like no one
Yeah.
sees it. Like, it's not talked about. Like, it would be if
I don't
he was
think
more
Tim
out there.
Cook is very talked about, considering he's Steve Cook's son,
True.
Jobs' boy. He's a young Jobs.
A young job.
He's a Jobs fill-in. He's a temp. I think that's a good pun to get out on.
Oh, did you say something? I'm just looking at the back of my phone.
Let me see. Let me feel that frosted glass. Oh yeah.
And you can scratch it, and it just goes right back.
Sorry, I'm over here with my 10X.
S Max.
True. I didn't want to flex.
That's the
on it too
best thing about them changing the name, was because no one fucking called it the right thing.
hard. Yeah.
I have the XS Max.
We have a Pro.
Plus.
Pro is stupid too.
No, because they say it with the laptops and the iPads.
But the Pro.
the name is
But
the name for the phone is.
But the Pro for the laptop makes a difference. Like the MacBook is considerably less powerful than the MacBook Pro.
That's true.
The iPad is considerably less powerful than the iPad Pro.
That's true.
I don't think the iPhone 11 is considerably less powerful than the iPhone 11
They're the
Pro.
exact same chip, exact same everything.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I think for a phone, it doesn't. I'm not saying the Max
Right.
is better.
But-
I'm saying the Pro label
But they
makes
know
sense for the laptop.
people like me that have a hard on for Apple, the second they put Pro there,
You're like, oh,
it
I'm a
legitimately
pro.
sold the device for me.
Jesus. And you're the person who told me not to. Oh, sorry. We're not
Yeah.
going to spoil it.
Yeah, that asshole that told you not to buy the phone, that may or may not have bought the phone after he said that.
Definitely flipped within a week. Was like, I'm getting the 11.
Actually, I almost had 2.
Oh my god.
Because rumor is the guy ordered it online, and it was going to take too long.
So he said,
just
fuck that. I'm going to go to Best Buy
today.
Right and got it.
Yeah. Actually, the guy just got the trade-in for his from the original order 2 days ago.
Wow. What a fucking guy.
Yeah. What a guy.
Well, Luke, I think it's we have no cue cards left.
We don't.
At this
It's
point,
been
we're
like almost an hour and a half too.
At this point,
Good
we're
little
just kind of just rambling. So,
We're gonna save content for season 2.
yeah. If there is a season 2, which let me see. How did you feel about this? How did you feel like it went?
So if I was to
Words.
review you on the
If you were to review us, not me, because you said at the top very quickly that I shouldn't do this.
if I was gonna leave a review
And
on
then you
the
proceeded
Apple
to be-
Podcast app,
Yes. Which this would, maybe you're listening to this on. Who knows? Maybe
If
you're
it's
listening to this
not,
on
then-
Stitcher or Earwolf. You don't know those other podcasting apps?
not Earwolf,
Earwolf is definitely one. It's a huge one.
Overcast. That's a good one.
Earwolf is huge. Anyways, if you were to leave a review,
just like Tidal.
Tidal is fucking huge.
Tidal
Is one of the top
the
5.
slowest death of any.
Tidal is one of the
company
top
ever.
5. There's
There's only 3 or 4
still up there. If you were to leave a review on this, of us, not of me,
of us.
how would you say it went?
Well, I'm gonna give it 4 stars.
You were about to say 3.
Yeah, I was. The guest was really good. The host just seemed kind of unprepared.
The host was unprepared, laughed a lot at everything he said.
Did not prepare his guest at all.
We talked about this for the
What?
the host
You getting all defensive over
mentally
there.
prepared for like weeks.
Not me.
The guest was given a heads up.
We're in my house, not even getting a heads up about what we were talking about.
I shot you a text that I was on my way.
Did you? You didn't, because I was in the shower.
No, I didn't actually. So I guess
Honestly, though, you were on time. Round of applause.
how many times has that ever happened?
This kid was 45 minutes late the last time we were supposed to hang out, and then expected me to wait for him because he was on his way.
Oh God. So,
So 4 stars.
so 4 stars.
That's pretty good. We gotta save room for improvement on season 2.
Yeah. And we'll see you next time. Well, that's all, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time. A Tone Time production.